This drift fix thingy stuff. If you came across this video, you might have seen a similar video perpetuating this is a permanent fix to stick drift. The thing is, this came before Hall Effect game joystick came into the market. And let's be honest, a lot of very good and expensive controllers still use traditional joystick. Hence, this mod still a valid option for you to consider. This thing was selling for about $2 and $10 each. Does this thing actually works? The short answer is yes. The long answer is it's complicated. If this one small thing can save manufacturer a lot of money on warranty process, why not doing it? Installing this thing, to be honest, is quite simple as long as you have basic soldering skill. When I was doing a test on back pedal mod from AliExpress, the cell inside my noodles spring out this idea to try this mod. So I started to work with my red DualSense. For DualSense, I need to cut it in half because the soldered point for the haptic feedback motor is under the joystick. I also need to cut a bit of battery holder to make space for the potentiometer to sit. However, things didn't go as I expected. The controller initially has a minor drift, but after installing the drift fix and doing some adjustment with a screwdriver, it goes to the center. From here, you can see that the active area is actually distorted and reduced. Another issue is if you want to make adjustment, you still need to open the controller shell. Along the way, I broke my trigger for the controller and shortened the motherboard. DualSense motherboard has many tiny components that are smaller than half millimeter, and knocking one of those can render the whole motherboard a brick. I need a new controller because I still need to push the video out. So I bought another controller and another controller, only to turn out that one of them doesn't have drift issue and another one is too easy to replace the joystick than putting this drift fix. So I turned to my ex-waifu Xbox One S wireless controller. It has a decent drift, although I'm a bit reluctant. I just don't want to break another $70 device, and Xbox One is much cheaper now to replace. Doing the same thing again on the left joystick, open the controller, do some soldering, and in 5 minutes it's done. The result? Still the same. I still get a similar result where centering is correct but the scalarity is smaller than I expected. Another thing to note, removing this can be a lot harder than I thought it would be. Some copper traces from this thing even stick to the soldered joint. The 3 legs potentiometer has a ground leg that always 0 voltage. A source voltage which is in joystick, it will be 5 volt, and the center legs, which is the wiper where it will determine the position. For a joystick, we will want this wiper pointed to the center or equally divide the resistance between source and the ground. For DualSense, the port will be 2.3 kilo ohm. When we add a shunt resistor or a bigger resistor on the leg, we will slightly change the total resistance. For this sample I got, it is 50 kilo ohm, and since it needs to be adjustable, it needs to be at the center, which is 25 kilo ohm. The total resistance will be around 2.2 kilo ohm. For a drifted stick, the aim is to equalize the left and right resistance. If the stick drifted to the left by 10%, we will need to turn the shunt resistor to make up for that 10%. At this point, I'm not in position to further explain on the electronic circuit. I failed my electronic circuit exam. I'm sorry, I'm not qualified for this. However, what I see is, regardless how I tune it, my maximum value never gets over the original value. On another side, I can always recalibrate this in Windows or Steam. However, joystick readout was done by potential reading and it has accuracy limitation. Before, on 256 level or 8-bit, it needs to move by 19.5 mV for a level. Now since it's reduced by around half for a full range motion, even if I recalibrate, I will only have 128 levels. 128 level is still workable for me, but it also means I will be less accurate and this doesn't sit well with me, with the effort I need to spend on this mod. If we have enough access error and the drift is not too big, this might actually works. But many third-party controllers have calibration tools that can mitigate this issue. A good calibration program rendered this so-called permanent fix useless and unnecessary. However, none of that, including this mod, can fix a hardware limitation. Another thing is, if you're gonna solder stuff anyway, just change your joystick potentiometer. Buy a lot of it. For $2 to $3 you can get at least 10 of them. With Hall sensor controller already on the market, it is just a matter of time when this thing is a forgotten mod. At the end of the day, my verdict is, don't bother with this thing. Just straight up swap your potentiometer or joystick. You don't even need to get Alps to make your controller good. Even Alps joystick are not built equally. This Match Nike controller has Alps joystick. It feels like shit. This GuliKit controller has Hall sensor joystick. It's wobble and feels cheap. This 8-bit Duo has Hall sensor too, quite average. This DualSense use Alps joystick, freaking good. This Xbox use Alps too, drift out of the box. This FlyDJ use Favor Union joystick, very good. If your joystick drift, calibrate. If it cannot be calibrated anymore, increase your dead zone. If it doesn't work, swap out the potentiometer. I know this might be too hard to tell when the process to do it can be daunting with at least 6 soldering points that need to be dealt with. However, that is the best solution. Controller design right now is still not at their best for people to customize and do their own fix. This thing actually remind me of booster that you install in a car claiming it can increase horsepower and increase fuel efficiency. The reality? Your car broke down after 3 days installing that piece of garbage. This drift fix only works in certain conditions, but creating another problem is not really a solution. It is just treating a symptom. So that's about it. I waste quite a lot of money and a lot of time on this. I hope I was wrong. I hope my soldering job was imperfect or the sample I get is bad. Will I venture further into this? No thanks. Bye. You can see now I installed 2 of these again. The result still the same.